11:05 a.m. this morning, our communications center received multiple calls for a shooting here at the Travelodge in Silver Spring. Officers and detectives responded and were able to speak to the victim for a very limited amount of time before he was transported to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. He suffered 2 apparent gunshot wounds to his legs. He stated to detectives, the victim stated to detectives, that the shooting was a result of an attempted armed robbery that occurred just over the D.C. line. The victim stated that this was a result of an attempted armed robbery. At this point, detectives are investigating all possibilities and are urging victims, anyone who witnessed this, to please come forward and call the police department.
Now, did the armed robbery occur in the motel room?
No, the armed robbery, according to the victim, occurred just across the street in the District of Columbia.
And he was shot in the leg a couple times?
He was shot twice, once in each leg.
And then he ran from the scene of the robbery back to the motel, is that right?
Again, detectives had a very limited amount of time to speak to the victim before he was transported. Detectives are at the hospital waiting to speak to the victim further, but again, he's receiving medical treatment. So at this point, ongoing investigation, limited information.
But the victim, I'm trying to get this straight, when the police got here, was the victim in the room or was he outside the room?
I don't have that information.
But he was at the motel?
Correct, he was in the area of the Travelodge, yes.
Did the victim, was he staying at the hotel? Did he or someone he knew have a room
Again,
here?
all of that is under investigation at this point. Detectives are waiting to speak to the victim further at the hospital.
Now, there is a second victim here, is there not?
The victim stated that during this robbery, there was another victim who was pepper sprayed. Again, that is still under investigation. We're urging anyone who may have witnessed any part of this incident to please come forward and call the police department.
Do you know the nature of the injury to the second victim?
Well, he was pepper sprayed. Again, non-life-threatening injuries, but he was pepper sprayed.
Did he make his way on his own to the hospital? You know?
I don't have that information.
Okay. Is there anything else you can tell? Oh, do you have a lot of problems with this motel? Do you get a lot of police calls for problems here?
I don't have the information. What I can say is the detectives believe that the suspect and victim had some known association with each other.
Here at the motel?
Yes.
Has the victim said the person who shot me is John Smith?
Again, that's still under investigation, and because it's an ongoing investigation, I can't comment on too much of what the victim may or may have not said.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. How old is the victim?
I don't have a specific age. I can work on getting that for you. I do know he's an adult now.
There are surveillance cameras attached to the Travelodge and the subway. Could that be of any assistance to your detectives?
That's something detectives always look for. Always look for video, anything that possibly captured the incident on camera. So that's something certainly that our detectives look at in any type of investigation.
So just so I'm clear, the victim says he was shot once in both legs, or he was shot twice, once in each leg, away, about a block away from the motel. But when police got here, they found him here at the motel. Is that right?
Correct, in the area of the motel.
Well, you don't know whether it was in a room or outside a room.
No, again, the victim is receiving medical treatment. Once he receives that medical treatment, detectives will be able to speak to him further.
And does the victim stay at this hotel, do you know, or motel?
Again, I don't have that information. The victim stated that the shooting that occurred in Montgomery County stemmed from an attempted armed robbery that occurred just over the line in D.C.
Were these two planning on meeting, or did the victim say he was assaulted without knowing this person was going to be coming in contact with him?
Again, the detectives were able to receive limited information from the victim. The first priority was getting him medical treatment. Once he receives that medical treatment, detectives will be able to speak to him further.
This is unusual for Silver Spring, though. Broad daylight shooting here, not far from downtown Silver Spring. It is unusual to have something like this, isn't it?
Well, again, we don't believe this incident is random. It does not appear to be random. We believe there is some known association between the victim and suspect.